Alright everyone, this video I'm going to be discussing what I got out of E3 in 2016. There are three things I got out of it. First and foremost is Zelda, the new Zelda game. So that's what I got from Nintendo was I want to play Zelda. And it's an open world, so that's one of those things I really wanted from a Zelda game for years, was a true open world. You can kind of go anywhere. Yeah, anyway. Another thing I got out of it was VR, whether you like it or not, it's going to be a thing. Is it going to be successful? I have to wait and see on that. But it is pretty evident that, yes, VR is going to be pushed really hard. And I think out of the three VR headsets, the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and the PlayStation VR, I think out of the three, I think the PlayStation VR is going to be the more successful one out of the three, just because of the fact that you don't have to worry about spending $1,000 PC or $1,000 plus on the PC just to get the VR headset to work properly. It's more like if you have a PS4, you got $400 to spend, you can get the PlayStation VR and get a similar experience on there. Whether it's going to be a better or worse experience, we'll have to wait and see. But it is, let's just say, the more compelling option out of the three. So hopefully the PlayStation VR is successful. But Sony does have a habit of, let's just say, prematurely drop stuff just because it's not selling quick enough. Let's just put it that way. Like the PlayStation Vita, the PlayStation Move. Hopefully it's not like that, but Sony does tend to have a habit of prematurely killing stuff just because they don't like the numbers. Hopefully it's not like that. Hopefully it is successful, because at the end of the day, it only benefits the consumers. I mean, I'm just going to throw it out there. You want all these manufacturers, you want all these companies to be successful, because at the end of the day, the consumer wins, because you get more choices, you get better experiences. So if the PlayStation VR is really, really successful, then that just means that Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, in response, has to make sure it's like, okay, we have to at least match that, or better yet, make it better than the PlayStation VR. Or it's like, what did Sony screw up on the PlayStation VR? Okay, we'll learn from that. Make sure we don't do that here. So, and also with the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive, but at the end of the day, it just benefits everyone. So none of this, this system's better than this, like, your system should fail. It's like, no. That's all 10-year-old talk. You just got to kill it. Because it just benefits the customers. It just benefits you as a gamer. More choices means more games, means better experiences they can get out of it. I don't see how that's a bad thing. So hopefully the PlayStation VR is a success. I'm going to wait and see how it is. I would like to try one before I actually buy it. But, hopefully it is a success for them. Now, the biggest thing that I got out of E3 was Microsoft. And I'll tell you why. It has nothing to do with the games. It has nothing to do with the more powerful Xbox that Microsoft announced. It has nothing to do with oh, you can customize how the Xbox One controller looks. I mean, it's kind of cool, but that's not what I got out of it. What I got out of it was this whole concept of we are not doing console generations anymore. We are going to iterate on the hardware because on the side of the operating system, it's running Windows 10. The Xbox One is running Windows 10, the same operating system. Granted, it is altered for a TV experience, with the menus and everything. But in the back end of things, it's running Windows 10 like it is on your computer, assuming you are running Windows 10. All my computers is running Windows 10. I think the operating system is fine. It's very fast, which is a good thing. But it's running the same operating system. So if it's running the same operating system and the Xbox One is the same architecture as your PC, why even bother at this point to come out with a brand new console for a next generation system? It makes no sense anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because some people might say it's like, oh, it gets rid of the excitement and everything. It's like, oh, there's no point to get a new piece of hardware. It's like, well, there are some people. It's like, okay, you know what? I'll get the newer version of the Xbox. It'll run quicker. It'll run better. It'll look better. It's like, oh, 4K. Okay, I'll do. Yeah, I got a 4K TV. Might as well take advantage of that. At least it gives them the choice, but at the same time, you don't have to buy the newer console because you'll still be able to play the new games that comes out for the Xbox on your Xbox. So, the way Microsoft is doing kind of eliminates the whole need of, oh, is this backwards compatible? It's like, oh, if I get the NX, is all my Wii U stuff going to work on it? Obviously I don't know at this point. Unless they do a software base, I would tell Nintendo is like, screw the backwards compatibility because the Wii U didn't really sell all that much. So who cares? Why are you going to try to please, what is it, like 15 million Wii U owners when you can get 30 million new customers? Probably. At least from the business side of things, that makes more sense. At least that's how I see it. But at the same time, the way Microsoft is going is it eliminates console generations. Because you don't have to buy the new system because the games that comes out for, as long as it comes out for Xbox, it will play on your Xbox. So Microsoft is kind of going the route of like the cell phone market. If you buy like a new iPhone or a new Android phone, it's like, okay, you got all these apps, games and stuff on the App Store or on the Google Play Store. It might not run as well on older hardware, but it will run, it will load up. So, in a way, it kind of makes sense to go down this route. Because it'll eliminate the need of, backwards compatibility. I know maybe like 5-6 years down the line, it's like, okay, this older Xbox One, it's not going to be it won't be able to run on that. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. But at least currently right now, the way I'm seeing it is whether the Xbox One S when it comes out or the newer version of the Xbox One when it comes out. If you buy a game on the Xbox, it'll run on all three. If you buy the game digitally, it will run on all three and your Windows 10 PC. Assuming your PC is capable enough to run it, of course. So, for Microsoft, this actually does make sense to do. And this whole thing about buying it digitally so you can play it on your PC or your Xbox, I actually like that idea. I even have some games I bought digitally on my Xbox that I can actually play it on my PC. In fact, one of the games I have is Killer Instinct. I can play it either on my PC or my Xbox. how freaking cool is that? I think that's really cool. Plus, say like you have a gaming laptop that's capable of running those games. Like, okay, I don't have to worry about lugging my PC or my Xbox around. I can just take my laptop with me and play the games on it. How freaking cool would that be? It's like you don't need to buy another piece of hardware because you already have the computer that runs on it. And on top of that, Microsoft is also telling people, hey, you don't have to buy our Xbox because we're also going to release the games on the PC. So if you want to play those Xbox exclusives, as long as you're running Windows 10, you can buy it on there too. I don't see how that's a bad thing. It just opens up a larger consumer base to play these games. Like an example is Killer Instinct. It's like, if I didn't have an Xbox One, it's like, I want to play it. I want to play Killer Instinct. But I don't have an Xbox One, but it's like, well, I have this gaming PC. Oh, I can play it on there too? Sweet. Oh, I can play it against people on the Xbox? How fucking cool is that? At least for Microsoft, this actually makes sense. Because they have Windows 10. The Xbox One is running Windows 10. It's a PC. It just has a different interface on it that's more controller user. Or anyway. But this whole idea of getting rid of console generations, I personally don't see as a bad thing. Now, some people might disagree with me, but when you look at it at the grand scheme of things, it makes sense. So say like I bought a bunch of physical copies of Xbox One games, and it's like Microsoft releases a new Xbox. It's like, oh great, it's all this game, are all these games going to work? It's like, they are, because it's on the Xbox, same architecture, it's just more powerful hardware. You can just pop the game in and it just works. So it's like, if I want to play Quantum Break 6-7 years down the line, I have a newer version of the Xbox One, it's like, okay, it'll still work on it. I don't see how that's a bad thing, though. It eliminates the whole need of backwards compatibility. Now, what Microsoft has to be really careful, though, is if the time comes, like, okay, this first generation Xbox One it's just not powerful enough to even run the game. That's when Microsoft has to be careful. But at the same time, say like someone had the original Xbox One for like 6-7 years. Like, okay, you had it for 6-7 years. It's getting kind of old. They already came out with like two revisions of the hardware for the Xbox. Maybe it is time to upgrade it, but you can still play all your old games still. I don't see how that's a bad thing, personally for me. But some people might disagree. But at least what Microsoft is doing, it eliminates the need to worry about, are all my old shit still gonna play on this newer piece of hardware? I don't see how that's a bad thing, though. But anyway, that's what I got out of it. At the end of the day, in the whole grand scheme of things, it only benefits the consumers. It only benefits you and I, the gamers, or people that are going to be starting the game. It only benefits everyone. Because we get more choices, more ways to play, and different experiences. I don't see how that's a bad thing. So, let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. Like always, have a good one. Like this video, share this video. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, because that's always helpful for me. And like always, have a good one.